This is a Saberforge custom ASP lightsaber hilt. I've named it Rugged Resilience, mainly because the body of this hilt actually is the resilient body, but I do think the overall design is very rugged. It's got, some knurling here and just that overall weathering to it. So anyway, I decided to name it that because I do like to have names for lightsabers. I'd rather call them that than simply an ASP lightsaber, which it is as well. So ASP is the adaptive saber part system that Saberforge developed. It's kind of this mix and match kind of method of combining different pieces. So you combine the emitter, switch, body, and pommel, and you can create your own kind of unique or different lightsaber hilt design. So the one that I have here, I'll walk through the different parts to it. So for the emitter, we have the 01 emitter. So it's just 01. The switch is the 07 switch. The body is the resilient body, and the pommel is the 03 pommel. So most of these parts are actually not named. They're just kind of numbered. But the emitter section, you guys, is pretty sweet. So we do have actually weathering throughout the hilt. So there's kind of that cohesion throughout the design. And the emitter section's got this really cool ribbing at the top. It's kind of a flanged emitter, this sort of flat top to it. And the ribbing kind of gives this radiator style effect. So it's kind of a radiator emitter. And then we've got these gorgeous vertical windows below that. And they sort of encircle the entire emitter section. They're also a bit tapered. And then finally toward the bottom of the emitter section, we got these 3 grooves right here that also add some additional kind of texture and dimension to the hilt. And we do have a lot of vertical lines and horizontal lines throughout the hilt, primarily a lot of horizontal lines actually. Now in the middle section here, the switch section, we've got the 2 switch holes here, and there are some cool accents. So there are some milled accents kind of around it, along with this knurled texture. So it's kind of this diamond knurling to it. And then below that, we have this very, very long body section. So the body of this hilt is from here to kind of, from my fingers at the bottom to my fingers at the top. And it's the resilient body, so it's got this sort of recessed grip area. And then the particular hilt that I have here uses a cobalt stingray wrap, so it's this synthetic leather wrap. It's got this gorgeous texture to it. And also color as well. So it's a bit more of a muted blue, which really kind of complements the muted kind of black and silver look of this hilt overall. Now this is the longest body section available from Saberforge, so that really lengthens this entire hilt. The whole hilt is about 14.5 inches long, so that's pretty long for kind of a single-bladed lightsaber hilt. And then, below the grip section here, we have this series of these smaller grooves that kind of visually ties in with the grooves at the top of the body and some of the grooves that are also in the switch section and the emitter section, and then the ribbing at the top. And then this pommel, I do really like this pommel in particular. I reviewed another Saberforge lightsaber that uses this one as well. This is the 03 pommel, and it has this very emitter-like appearance to it, right? It looks a lot like maybe the Graflex emitter. It's got this slash-cut shroud to it, and then there's a vented pommel, or the pommel does have venting, I should say. So it is kind of neat. It has this angular pommel to it, and it's kind of its own distinctive pommel. The flat part of the inside of the pommel ties in visually with the kind of emitter style at the top. But other than that, this sort of slash-cut emitter, or this slanted, or not emitter, pommel, this slash-cut pommel is kind of doing its own thing. It just visually is, it has this different angle to it that diverges kind of from the overall horizontal lines of the design. But it's a neat design, you guys. The Saberforge ASP system is so cool, just how you can mix and match these different parts and come up with all sorts of cool lightsaber combinations. And they can all look pretty lightsabery too. You know, this looks like something that a character would definitely wield, but at the same time, it's just kind of piecing together different parts. So here it is. This is an ASP lightsaber from Saberforge, and I've named it Rugged Resilience.